Hello, this is Steve Ramona, your host for Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I want to thank our sponsors, Infone, and with Infone, you can place your business on everybody's cell phone, turn their business into a web app, and with a click of a button, they'll have access to you 24/7. And also Pantheon.fm. Have you ever thought about monetizing and taking your podcast to the next level? Well, Pantheon can do that. Let us show you how. Reach out to Steve Ramona, the host, at infone.co/SR1, and I will go over with you how you can make your podcast really stand out. Let's enjoy the show. Thanks again, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. This is your host, Steve Ramona. Fired up today. I've got a guest that's got a story that you need to listen all the way through, because this lady has been through much more than most people in the world. But the best part of it, she's recovered and doing so well. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How about you?
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Awesome. Well, let's start with the book. I Did Not Miss the Boat. Great title.
Oh,
Tell us more.
Yeah, well, obviously, I picked the title because we were boat people when I came to America in the 1980s. In the late 70s, you probably have heard, some of the younger folks might not have heard about TV, about people who escaped out to the ocean from Vietnam communists, and our family was among those people, and boat was like a big thing back then. Everybody just sail out to the ocean and not knowing that if they're gonna get saved or they're gonna get rescued or they're gonna die, perish in the sea. And we took that decision. Oh, I didn't. My parents did, and I'm glad they did. And went through a lot of traumatic experience, being raped by pirates for 4 times, and then being in the refugee camps for 8 months. But it's all worth it because now we're free. I did not miss that boat. I did not miss that boat. That's how I get freedom. I get education. I get chances over and over, opportunity in this land of freedom that is the paradise for all refugees that who was forced for one circumstance or another to flee out of their own birth country. And I have to say that our family was really blessed to be able to settle in America. But that's also the title of metaphorically, a lot of us people out there miss our boats because we are unwilling, or we are afraid, or we don't have the confidence, or we just tell ourselves the same story that is not serve us to move forward, because we got caught in the traumatic experience where we came from, and we kind of shrink and we kind of stay in one place and contemplate on that traumatic experience and not able to break through and break out. So it took me a lot of years. I finally did it. And I feel like I also did not miss on that mental boat and being able to break out. So the boat was a perfect metaphor for physically, we didn't miss the boat. I didn't. And mentally, I think, I get to a place where I am right now because I broke through that boat and not only sailed out, but I'm very happy with the way that my life turned out.
Yeah. How many families, what's the percentage of families that didn't make it?
Oh, too many. I mean, I was like,
Really?
that nobody can have the statistic for it, but for like every person made it, who knows how many had died.
Large number.
And hundreds of thousands of people at that period had fled the country, and nobody knows how many died, because I know a lot of people who did, like my neighbors across the street and friends and their kids, and, just like you hear story all around. Personally, I don't know anybody would be able to tell you the stat of that.
Yeah, it's just a lot, and that's enough.
Right.
That's the best stat in the world.
Yeah, I mean, even just a few people is still too many, let alone that hundred of thousand might have lost their lives in that cause.
I'm loving this book now because now because I tell people when that door opens for opportunity, you better walk through it. It's your metaphor is really similar. Don't miss the boat. Jump on that boat
Right.
to go somewhere.
Right. Yes. And then after that, I have my way of looking at too. Many people miss the boat, but you don't have to if you know how to build your own boat, because my dad created a team to build that boat. So I mean, for us in life, it's the same way. I mean, sometimes you miss the boat because you're waiting for somebody to come by to pick you up. But if you know how to build your boat, you have your own skill set, you have your own way of doing things, you can actually create whatever opportunity come your way. And I think that's the boat building process that I'm seeing in my life, not just not miss the boat, but if you do miss it, you can always build one and get on it.
Yeah,
And
I was just gonna say, I'm thinking in your case, it's do or die and there's chance of death. For
yes,
us, it's go through, get on that boat, because not death, you're not defying
right,
death.
right,
So why not do it? You
right.
did it.
Yeah.
Loving
And
it.
life is too boring to stay in one place, right? Get on the boat, and if you don't like that boat, jump to a different one. I mean, go different places. I mean, it's just so unlimited in life that we can experience. And I think the boat is such a great metaphor. And since I came from a boat background, so I just saw such a fitting to have that title. And I didn't miss the boats, neither should you.
I love it. And audience, we'll talk more about it. Go out and buy the book. I'm going to put in the show notes where you can buy the book. Don't miss the boat. I just love that. I'm going to keep
So
saying that.
if I can give a
Go ahead.
plug, I mean, you can get the book from Amazon, and there's an Audible also available. But if you want an autograph from me, please go to leatran.com and buy it, and I will personally sign it and send it to you.
Oh, look at that. There we go. Serving, what a servant's heart. I love it. So you're a coach. Let's talk about your coaching. How's that work?
Yes, sure. So I was not planning. I came from a long line of different background. I came to America, study science, was a chemist for a long time. I was in the basic research, and then was in there almost 2 decades, and then volunteer for a layoff and take the severance and plunge myself out into the entrepreneur world and create my own company and have an interior decorating specialized in window treatment. And I was serving that industry for 10 years. And then when I celebrated that success, and I asked myself, what's the purpose of my life now? Am I just come to America to make money and just be one of, I mean, to live without a purpose? I mean, nothing wrong with making money, but I love to making money with a purpose, because I feel like, my life have been through so many history and so many experience. I want to share my experience with the people that who have not have a glimpse of that life, the life from across the other continents, to see what it was like and how I survived through it. So during COVID, everything just come fruitions. I moved to Florida after 10 years anniversary, and then a couple years of just kind of find myself, who I was and what I wanted to do. And I knew that there's a story in me that need to be born. It needs to be let go so I can be free. And COVID did it. COVID's the gift of time. Give me the time to actually focus and get my story out, did a TEDx talk, and then certify as a holistic coach. So I am coaching story now. I'm a story coach. I think every one of us have story, not just one story. Every one of us have a book in them. And then you don't have to be a refugee across the ocean to have a book. I mean, you can come in, there's trauma coming all size, shape and form. And even if you don't have a trauma, if you're lucky and you just have a blessing of going through a normal life, I'm sure you have a lot of joy that you can share. So there's many different stories that from our ancestor passing down, and the lesson that we get from it. So I think, a lot of people hesitate to tell their story because maybe they didn't know how, or they are, afraid of being judged and afraid that they're going to be vulnerable in front of others. But if you just actually step back and look at your life and craft a story that is compelling, everybody needs to hear that. I mean, it's a legacy story or a business branding story, because people will buy anything with the story, a compelling story. And many of us need to kind of polish it up. And I think, story is the way to connect people, to connect your clients, and to connect with your family. And everything is coming out from a story point of view.
So you help people develop their story through
Yes.
their business.
Yes. Yes.
Let's walk through that. How's that look?
That's great, because I've told myself, I think the most important thing is the story you tell yourself. I think that's the most important thing. For many years, I told myself with the limited story, the story that I came from a very disadvantaged place. I came from a place that I didn't speak English. I came from a place that I didn't have inheritance. I didn't have advantages. My parents didn't know anything about this culture. I have to learn, just like on and on and on about I can't be a speaker. I can't do, just like things that I told myself. That is the story I live by. And then until I broke through, when I wrote my book, my memoir, it dawned on me that, oh my God, we came from such a rich culture. Everything that happened to me happened for a reason for me. And I grow so much from just going through one trial to the next. And I've learned very early in life how to watch my parents handle all the crises, and me myself, going through that. So I should be proud. Why would I be putting a cap on, putting a lid on my own growth and say that that's where I came from, so I can't do any better? So you see, the story, first of all, if we want to tell story to other people, we have to make sure that the story that makes sense in our head to inspire us. We are the first audience. We have to pass through that test before we can inspire anyone with our story. So it took me a while to look through my parents' background, why they behaved the way they did, why I was shaped the way that I am. And, a lot of good come out of it. A lot of, if you are not get the story straight, a lot of time people come from a bitterness place, a resentment place, a place of shame, blame, and guilt. But if you see through those kinks and you kind of untie all those knots and you say how nice it was, what we have was something very unique to us. Everybody has a unique story.
They do.
Don't tell me you don't.
Yep.
Everybody has a unique story. It doesn't matter if you come from Alabama, San Francisco, New York, Florida, Vietnam, China, any place. It's a culture story. It's a beautiful story of human passing down from one generation to the next. And I love to hear people's story. And then you can tie all the stuff that you learn to your personal legacy, for the things that you achieve. Maybe you will have that drive because you were watching somebody in your family struggle and you don't want to have that. And it pushed you to a place that you say, I'm going to break that mold. I'm going to break that suffering. Or just so much that we can relate and we can share. And I think story is just the fantastic way of building community as well, building human relationship.
Right.
So, I'm just very passionate about that.
Yeah, and awareness too. So you tell your story, you're aware of this happened.
Yes.
And how it ties back to your business. If you're
Yes.
a founder, CEO, or
Yes.
leader of a business.
Right. And you learn so much from it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like fingerprints. Everyone has a unique fingerprint. Everyone has a
Exactly.
unique story.
Exactly.
I love that.
and
Let's
never
talk.
afraid that you're gonna like somebody else have the same story. That's what I told myself.
Yeah.
I know so many refugees. I know so many people have much more tragic story than I did. Who am I to say that my story, get good lesson to it? And I'm looking, it's like, wait, but they're all different. They're all different. What I went through is exactly different from what they went through. Even my brother and sister were born in the same set of parents, but they might see the lens of their story in a different lens. It's never the same. So don't hesitate to share your story, but it's a skill set. It's something that you need to develop, because if the story doesn't come out right, it
Well, that's where you come in as the coach.
Right.
You get their story, but I could see it tied to the purpose of the business.
Yes.
So
yes. You got to heal from it. You got to heal from it. Yeah. Don't come out and have a very negative story, because every single struggle, every single negative event, that's an opportunity for you to see the blessing, the gratitude, and the beauty and the goodness in it. So
yeah, you know blessings with your story. You know blessings, but I love that you're using your story to help others.
Thank you.
Instead of just living on it, and nobody would fault you. Like, hey, I had a horrific story. I made it. I'll do the best I can. And if you take care of you and your family, that's great. But you're taking it a step further.
Right.
Like with your TEDx talk, you made a huge impact in your TEDx talk. Talk about that.
Well, it was really scary, because now you actually be on the stage and share your personal story to, I don't know, potential million people. I didn't have a million watch, but it's out there. It's out there. But I think that gave me the courage, because through that talk, I've learned a lot about what I've learned from the people when I came to America. How they are encouraging me, how I see the mindset of Americans and of Asian, how different of about keeping everything private, where you actually can share so you can learn from each other. So there's a different culture teaching there. So when I came to America, I was a late teen. So I was very confused between the East and the West culture and the teaching that are so opposite. And it took me so many years and many decades in order to figure out that, yeah, each have its own beauty. If you keep within that confine of that tradition, it's beautiful. But if you can able to prick it open and share, it's even more beautiful when you can understand each other. So yeah, the TEDx, I did not believe that I could do a TEDx. And I didn't apply, but my friend heard a little bit of my story and she said, you should apply. And I'm so grateful for her, because I took her advice and I applied, and boom, they said, your stories need to be on our stage. And it gave me a little bit of confidence and believe in myself. And from there, more and more people listen to it, and they find encouragement for their own story, or they learn something from the culture that I brought, I have shared. And it's a good thing. And I see that the beauty of not taking your story to the grave, because so many people take that trauma and it's a burden. Whatever you can't talk it out, it's become a burden to yourself. And you can sweep it, you can hide it, but it might not go away.
Yeah, that's well said. Burdens are not good, especially when you take it to the grave. Before I forget, how can people reach out to you again?
So I have my website is called leatran.com, LEATRAN.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, because I don't give out newsletter very often, but when I do, once in a while I have some great announcement or something I love to share. And I have a little giveaway on my website too. So if you want to sign up, you can get a freebies about public speaking, how public speaking would help you in your business, and a little tip thing. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Lea Tran, speaker and coach. I think that's my handle. And I'm on Instagram and pretty much everywhere, YouTube.
Okay. Well, I'm going to add to the freebies. Thank you for giving my audience a freebie. So I'm
Oh,
going to
you're
add to that.
welcome.
The first 5 people that reach out to you, listeners, I want you to listen carefully. You mention this show to Lee and you talk to her, I will send you a $20 Amazon gift card.
Oh, wow. That's
So
very generous. Thank
no,
you, Steve.
I want to serve, and your story needs to get out there. Not so much your story because of you, but how many people you can help. And I
Yes.
want to be on that mission with you. And then you're coaching with the story because you know a story. You built your own story. You had a TEDx talk. You can share that with others.
Yes. And I
Um,
do help other people if they have an idea, a story that's worth sharing. I also coach people doing a TEDx also. Craft their message and be ready and apply to TEDx and let it go. Let your story be free.
yeah, amen. You're a speaker as well. Where do you like to speak?
I like to speak to empower women. I think being a woman, a lot of us have low self-esteem and low confidence. And I want to help the people who I was. Not that I'm saying that I'm confident now. I mean, it's always on progress, right? Everything is about learning and about growing. And I just want to help people that a little bit behind me, people that need a little encouragement. So I love association, women's networking, women conferences. I also love speak to book clubs. If you have a book club that you order my book, if you have a number of books that you order from me, I will do a Zoom so you can do a Q&A with an author after you read the book, which I have done many, many times. People across the country would order my book in bulk, and then they just read it, and a couple of weeks later, they jump on Zoom with me with lots and lots of questions.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool that you're doing that. I love how you're giving back. People buy the book. So if you got a book club out there, you want to start one, Lee's your first contact. Again, get that Amazon gift card if you reach out. Well, Lee, we're running out of time here. You're a blessing.
Oh, thank
I
you,
really
Steve.
thank you for coming on and telling your story. And I didn't want to get too deep into it, but we know enough to get the book and listen and read it. Listen, well, I guess Audible, if you're on Audible, they can listen as well. But reach out to her. If you've got a story you're struggling with, you kind of know part of your story, reach out to her, have her finish that story. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a TEDx talk, but
Yes.
you need help. If you're struggling with that, reach out because I'm going to do a guarantee. I don't usually do 100% guarantee she can help. If not,
Well,
reach out to me and I'll take care of you.
and I do have a podcast shining on
Mention that.
people's story too.
So
So
what's the name of the podcast?
my podcast is a live stream. It's called From Surviving to Thriving. And I want to talk about focusing about the thriving conversation. So a lot of us coming out from things that unimaginable, right? And how we handle that, how we get to a place that we can actually help other people, not only help ourselves, but serve other people. And I loved your title, Steve, what your servant leader with a heart, it's like, that's what my passion is. Many times, a certain time in your stage in your life, you start thinking like, what's my purpose here on this earth? How do I want to leave that legacy? And doesn't matter, you sooner or later, I think at some point people will think of that. And making money is great, but living a legacy is much better when you are in the business about serving other people.
Yeah, well said. I'm glad you've been on. Last thing, can you do me a favor? Can you leave my audience a tip? You've been through a horrific event. It's a tough word for me to say. I mean, you beat death. What could help them that helped you get past all that?
So don't think of public speaking. If you have a business, you need to be out there to speak, because that's how you build trust and that's how you build credibility, authority. And the way that you go out and speak, don't be scared to speak. Thinking that you're not speaking, you are sharing story. You're sharing your life experience, what you've learned from it, passing out in the story format. Learn how to craft that. because people love story and people want to be your friends because now they know your story and they want to do business with you. And the other thing is, if you have a story that your children don't know anything about it, you need to find a way to craft that legacy story so they will understand about it. And many times I say that everybody has a story, right? But you don't learn how to tell the right story, your story, somebody will tell your story. And it might not be the story that match with what you think or who you are. So tell your story, because if you don't, somebody else will. And it might not be the story that you like to hear or representing you.